Okay, I'm here with Mark A.C. Brown, and he is going to tell us a little bit about his film Guardians. Over to you, Mark.
So, Guardians is a black comedy set in the East End of London in a 200-year-old Georgian townhouse, this very house that we're in now. And it's about these two guys, very different walks of life, who are thrown together as living guardians to look after this house after an old lady has died in it. And they clash. At first, it's very much a kind of an odd couple situation that develops into a more thriller kind of situation when they discover that this house is sort of being watched by unseen assailants, maybe ghosts, maybe gangsters, maybe who knows what, and eventually kind of comes under attack, and they've got to kind of get through the night, I guess.
What would you say is the thing that you enjoyed the most about your first directorial voyage?
I guess sort of the whole thing really. It was just getting it actually done. Yeah. You kind of go through years of frustration as a writer, as a director, in even in short film and theatre and stuff. Nothing's ever easy, and so to actually get it over the line and out into the world was amazing.
Okay. What made you want to direct? What was your journey into thinking, aha, I'm going to be a director?
I kind of went off that path for a long time, really. I came to London to be a director and fell into writing more, fell into theatre and had a good time doing that for a few years. Probably too good a time, I think, because I should have moved on quicker. And and I kind of slowly went back to directing. Really, I kind of went from theatre back into short film, and then eventually I directed a few really low budget shorts, and then my own kind of reasonable budget short, which did some good festivals. It's called Corinthian, and kind of felt right all of a sudden again. I just thought, actually, I do want to do this again, and I had a few false starts with some of the scripts that I'd written with other directors or producers or money men or whatever. It was and a few unsatisfying experiences. And so one day I was having a chat with David, who plays Lavender in the film, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna do it. I've got an idea for a film. I've got the location, which is our house.
Which incidentally is where we are right now.
Yeah, this is the kitchen and the scene of many wonderful bits of comedy and drama. He said, yeah, all right, let's do it. And so I had a chat with a few other close friends in the industry and said, is everyone up for this? I'm going to direct it. No one said no. So we did it.
How long did the shoot take? Because I know that you had this house as a location, and you also obviously got the pub. Some of the stuff is shot in the pub, and then there's a couple of other sort of smaller locations as well. How long was the whole shooting schedule?
10 days, pretty much.
Was that what you planned to start with? Yeah.
I mean, we had a couple of days of pickups and half a day of like reshoots after that in the next 3 months after that. But 10 days was about as maximum as I could ask anyone who was coming on board to basically do this for nothing. For taking time off work or whatever, and or to work around the schedule. So that was the most amount of time I think we could do it. And I'd seen a lot of other films kind of shoot for that period of time, and I thought I could do that.
Exactly. It seems to be the sort of the norm with first time feature directors more often than not these days, because from what you just said, backtracking, there's so many, you have so many runs at it, and in the end would you agree it's frustration that makes you step over that line and think, right, I'm just gonna zero budget, self-fund, whatever it is?
Yeah, absolutely. And because the industry at the moment is ever changing, so it's like whether it's a government change or whether it's just technological, nothing's stayed the same for the last 5-10 years, and so it's hard to know where to get your money from, or
and I know that feeling very well.
And when back when we would try and get some other features off the ground, technology wasn't as readily available as it is now. And so I think just things, kind of coalesced into financially and just time-wise, everyone kind of was in that right place, to do it. Because I mean, everyone was having the same frustrations. I've had all my friends and people that are all working in the industry in some form and have done good work, but it's never been. They've never been super happy with everything they've done. So it's like let's get some meaty parts for good actors and get my technological people, give them a chance to play and do some HOD stuff.
So how long did the script take you to go from concept to, should we say, good first draft?
6 weeks probably, I reckon. Then we kind of honed it. I'd say like the second draft of it would be pretty much almost what you see on screen, except because there was only one big change, which was the character of Buxton, who was really only in it at the beginning as the agent, and at the end, and then he wasn't in it at all from the beginning. And then I had this idea of like, actually, he'll come back as a surprising entrance in the beginning of the third act. And so other than that, everything's pretty much as it was, because I'm not much of I don't do a lot of drafts because I kind of think about things a lot beforehand, walk around, play around in my head, and then I kind of get that urge and just go.
I also think that with a zero budget sort of production, you do really have to grab what you've got in your environment, whether that happens to be really supportive actors who are mates who, in your case, know already they trust your writing and they trust your ability, so they go, right, I'll jump in. Or it happens to be you have a house that you can use. Did handy that. So, I think all of these things definitely fall apart. But what would you say is going forwards would be what you would want to put in your second film?
If I had more time and money for my next one, which I will, hopefully, then let it get a bit more expansive. What I enjoyed about this was the control of the environment. Complete, 100% control and be able to do what I wanted and to be able to know the environment really well. So I knew this house inside and out. I knew all these weird, spooky little corners and the noises and what looked good and what didn't. And, I'd kind of been planning quite a lot of shots for years for something, not even this film. So depending on what my next film is, as a director, hopefully it'll be my film Limpet. That's what I want to do. And I've written that in the same way that I did Guardians, except much bigger, so I've set it in Whitby, which is a town I know really well because I'm from growing up near it, and that's where I spent a lot of holidays and a lot of kind of just school trips and my brother's stag do, and it's a beautiful little seaside town. It's a totally weird place as well because it's a big goth mecca, because of Dracula. It's where Dracula, with Bram Stoker, thought of Dracula, and so like Guardians, I wrote the film to be there because I just know I know the layout, I know all the weird little quirky bits of it, I know how it feels, and so that was. I don't think I could direct something unless I kind of had that kind of comfort.
So basically, you're somebody who obviously who sees the location as a character.
Yeah, very much.
In itself, yeah.
I think all my scripts, even the ones made or not, the environment is an integral part of it, and it plays a part in the characters' choices and in the characters' progressions, and whether that's a kind of whether the environment is an obstacle. In this case, it's sort of like just a big metaphor for people being trapped within themselves and sort of haunting themselves, I guess. So it's always just accidentally. I've never done it on purpose, particularly. It just always seems to be the way that.
You come across the film, I have to say, is the actors are working beautifully together. Now, I know that you've had a history of writing for stage, and that, of course, you've got the actors and a lot else unless you're on big West End production. So, do you actually go into the rehearsal process with the actors and develop the parts around them once you've got the bare bones of the first draft?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote all the parts for almost everyone in the film,
Okay, yeah.
and because I know how they all speak and what they're good at and what their strengths are, and so it was really it was one of the easiest things I've ever written, and but yeah, I mean, we wanted to do like kind of more improv stuff, but ultimately we didn't have the time, so we did a bit in rehearsal, and there was a couple of good little ad libs on set, but generally the script was what it was. But they all had a say in it. They all kind of had their moment to speak. And rehearsals, we did do it like a play essentially. We kind of, because we could rehearse on set, on location, so it was pretty easy to
around your house basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Come around my house and do a rehearsal.
So we tried to get as much done here as possible and try and pre-block stuff and work things out visually as much as we could before we got on set, and that was very helpful. I mean, I would do more of that next time.
Yeah.
I think, because it was still difficult to work around people's schedules.
That helps with money though, doesn't it? When you get, if you're paying people, then of course.
Yeah, if they can take the time off work, or they can just do this as their job.
Just block yourself out, exactly.
Yeah.
So going back, your next project, Limpet, did you say?
Limpets, yeah, it's one of them.
What genre, style, what's that about?
It's a horror comedy, very much more of a horror than Guardians, which is not horror really. It's got maybe one moment then. It's got a bit of silly torture and
it's got some darker elements.
Spooky people at windows.
Yeah.
Whereas this is out and out I kind of class it as my sort of seaside Cronenberg horror sort of thing.
Okay.
It's as if David Cronenberg shot the film Waking Ned or something, or Local Hero or something like that. It's a very kind of cute. I like it's light-hearted, but it's nasty as anything, and so what's the question?
I have to say, actually, at this point, it's Friday afternoon. We've all had a very long day, so we're doing very well so far.
Yeah.
Okay, then, just what have you got right on the boil right now? What's coming up immediately in the next few weeks for you?
I'm working on a film called Harmony, which Phil, who I've worked with a lot on short films, it's going to be his directorial debut, so I'm trying to get that script finished for shoots for early next year. It's going to be pretty low budget, and again we've got the location, which is a spectacular 600-year-old farm that we have again control of, so we've nailed the story pretty much on that. We've got two cool cast members, which is it's quite interesting because they're both kind of West End actors and all that kind of stuff, and they've done TV and but they've never done feature film. But weirdly enough, the parts are perfect for them, and they're playing a married couple, and they are a married couple in reality. So it's kind of good fun.
That sounds really good.
So hopefully timings will all work out there. Hopefully, unless they get some sort of massive job, which they probably will. So that's a ghost story set on a farm. It's all set around this sort of music. This house is haunted by music, and it kind of sends people a bit crazy. So that's the most immediate thing that I'm doing, and then I've got a few things that have been in the works for a while, and we're just funding, really funding.
Yeah, it's funding, and I believe also you're still sort of knocking off distribution for Guardians.
How's
that going? Because it's a very difficult landscape.
Well, it's gone really well actually.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we've had this company, and nothing's signed or sealed yet, so I'm not going to go into massive details yet. But basically, they're taking it to America, the American film market, and selling it hopefully to Sky Cinema, Sky Store, etc., etc., etc. So.
I mean,
So more on that next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult, as you touched earlier on, it's such a fast-moving landscape, and it has been for the past 5, 10, even 15 years.
Yeah, a lot of people playing catch-up to seemingly changes in the way people watch films daily.
I
know.
And I think that the problem is the distribution model is not set. It keeps changing, and no one knows.
Yeah, I mean, just in the time of shooting Guardians to now, which is about, I guess 2.5 years almost since the actual day we shot it to now. what's been offered and what's been is just changed completely. You know, DVD's just off the table now, pretty much.
They are, yeah.
And you know, we did our own cinema run, and you know, we'll probably still get DVD in America, we're told, which is nice because you've got that many people, someone's going to buy them.
The thing is, you know, technology is moving fast and all the rest of it, but at the end of the day, you've still got massive swathes of people who still have DVD players.
Yeah.
And that's what they like.
I love DVDs. If I don't get
or even Blu-rays, you know, it's a tactile.
I love having physical media. It's the best thing in the world. I love going shopping for it. You know, that's one of my favourite joys in life.
And I can feel with certain films, and yours being one of them, because yours has a cultish feel to it, and I can feel it ending up as something. Oh, I've got my little special version of Guardians. You know, with all the bits in it.
That's it. You know,
we were saying beforehand as well. You know, that the wonderful thing about a DVD is you get the outtakes and you get the behind the scenes footage. As I say, you know, that sadly it's sort of gone out the window with online streaming. You don't get that. Much.
It's a real tragedy for me, that, because like all those extras that you would get with the director's commentaries or the behind the scenes or the Q&As or even the deleted scenes, and so just to get an insight into how these were made, they were almost more inspiring to me than the films themselves. Yeah. And I used to be obsessed with director's commentaries.
I also think it's especially so with low budget film making.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of what you're saying about your journey sort of resonates, you know, with my own and with a lot of independent filmmakers in the UK. But each journey has its quirky little hallmarks, and that is actually very entertaining if you find out that.
It is, you know, it's nice to see. It's nice to see how things are done. You know, you got the things like Robert Rodriguez, who do his 10-minute film school, and he would do his making of Desperado and El Mariachi and stuff like that, and it's hugely inspiring about how you can get stuff done for nothing, you know, and then you've got these massive budget films, or Spielberg or whatever, you know, where you see the making of, and Ridley Scott particularly, where you look at his stuff, you think, how on earth does anyone do that? And then David Fincher, who's got like a very independent sort of mind, but big budgets, and the way he does things. And I just love all these differences, and you know, and those things were hugely useful for me when I was directing this. You know, Tarantino, again, very, very useful. You know, I watched Hateful Eight, well, before I did this, just because it's, you know, a lot of people in an enclosed space, and, you know, his use of, you know, wide angle, big, you know, that kind of stuff in small spaces was great, and we tried to do that a little bit here. It's really kind of almost impossible. But, you know,
you've done incredibly well, and as I say, you know, the thing that really, when I was watching Guardians, I thought the photography was seamless in the way that you didn't notice it, which is what you want for a comedy. But there's one scene that I wondered how you shot it, and that's the one in the loo.
Well, it was as you'd imagine, the only way we could shoot it, which is just getting, you know, there's 3 people in a toilet having a chat whilst they're sort of back themselves into a corner somewhat.
That's right. It's a bit of an intense moment, isn't it? Yeah.
And it was just, got 3 actors, stuck them in. We tried to make it look as nice as we could.
Yeah, you did. You did really well. Yeah.
Just stuck cameras in their faces as close as we can get, really. Just, you know, the door open, and we just stood there just filming it, and
fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just right up in their faces.
No, it's worked very, very well, and I'm really pleased. We're really pleased for you at BritFlicks that you've probably got some distribution now, and wish you all the best luck with it in the world, and come back and tell us other journeys and other films.
Thank you very much.
Right, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.